Hey, what is good, everyone? It is the guy that everyone loves to hate, the Crooked Commish. We are deep into the season, y'all. There's only a few more games left before it's time for the, dare I say, playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Well, if you're making the playoffs, that means you've won at least one game, probably more than that, but you've won some games. So that's why we're talking about playoffs, Jim. There's only about 2 weeks left before we get into the fantasy football playoffs. If you're in a league like I am, we have about 3 weeks left until we get to the playoffs. So I know not very many leagues or people like to play their championship game week 18, but we have a little bit different circumstances in one of the leagues that we run. So it has a little bit of funky rules like that, so everyone knows what they're getting into going into that league. So, but besides the playoffs, we also have Thanksgiving week coming up. It's Thanksgiving week. We have Thanksgiving this coming up Thursday. So tell me in the chat, what are y'all thankful for? Because I'll tell you what I'm thankful for. Every one of these damn wins I got this season, because it has not been easy. And sometimes the payments have not cleared. So, but I am thankful and I am super grateful for every damn win I've been able to get this season. Like I said, some have been harder than most or were easier, but then some were definitely harder to get as well. But I am also, on a more serious note, super thankful for all the viewers and all our subscribers that we get, the people that tune in and stuff like that. So super thankful for y'all. Really appreciate any love and support that we do get from you all. If you could do me a favor, just please continue to hit that thumbs up button. Please continue to share our content with any other friends or family members that are fantasy football fans that play the sport as well. So dare I call it a sport? Everything's being called a sport nowadays. So, but anywho, put in the chat, what the hell are you guys thankful for? Are you thankful for your wins just as much as I am? Or do you have a little bit less to be thankful for? Either way, let me know. Put your record in the chat. We'd love to know it. So before I get further into it, let me go ahead and get in my co-host, the guy that you guys are all very familiar with. He is the loudest mouth in fantasy football and the mouth from the Bay, my boy, Mouth.
How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, you know what? You know what I'm thankful for? This cold fucking beer after a long ass damn day. After 10 hours, this motherfucker tastes really good right now. Mm-hmm.
I bet. Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
It's like what I'm also thankful for is a 70-point whooping that I put on the number one man in one of our fucking fantasy leagues. I'm tired of his shit. So, motherfucker's been riding a hot streak. I beat his ass the first time, so I double dipped him. I gotta love that shit. Both times he got roasted.
Did you beat him the first time you played? You double dipped?
Yeah, because
wow. I beat him 4 times this year.
So just the first time, no, because I took your fucking advice and I sat fucking Dave Robinson, put Ferguson in, and I lost by like 10 points. So I fucked that one up. That's my first loss. I was super pissed because right now I'm fighting for the top side on one and the bottom side on another fucking league. So go figure. Can never get it to fucking both to figure it to get them both to be good. But
the same year,
I do love the fact that I gave him his first loss because we were both undefeated, and I turned around and I thumped his ass again. So no beginner's luck with that because he ain't gonna win no championship and no belt or no ring. I'm tired of his fucking nonsense. So that's what I'm thankful for. Whipping one of my good friends' ass again.
Very nice, very nice.
BK, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's because gotta love that Christmas.
And that helps me out as well because I was right behind him. So you beating him, and if Justin Herbert can do his damn job and continue to get maybe a few more rushing touchdowns, that'll put me in first place there with about 3 weeks to go and left in that hardcore league there. So,
well, I need Wood Disley to do some things. Because if he does some good things, then I get the top score 2 weeks in a row, in the one league, and then I make up some ground in on the bottom half of the other one. So, right, him and Zay Flowers, I only need a total. I need them to get their projections. If I get 24 points between two freaking a tight end and a wide receiver, who the top tight end and the top wide receiver, and hopefully it's going to be a 40-40 game.
mm-hmm.
I'll chase your ass down too on the other side. So here we go.
So what do you call? Well, good luck with that. Like I said, I'll be cheering for you here. Going into the week here, we had a shit ton of teams. We had 6 teams that were on a bye week here. And,
that was brutal. That shit sucks, man. Like 1 or 2, 3 is bad, but you got 6 teams with and then you got people that are injured or get injured. You never know what's going to start. Like, who's going to be there, and then the last second, if you don't have someone picked up on waivers early, and they get like a late call or Friday, Saturday, they're not going to play. Man, it's scramble mode. Your father-in-law was doing scramble mode. He's doing scramble mode for a tight end. We're talking to him Sunday morning. Like, even Neta's calling him out for, hey, Jalen Cage is doing some things late. It's brutal.
Yeah, he was desperate for a tight end.
Yeah, there's no one out there because they're all on fucking buys. And the other ones, everybody else has on their stupid, squad somewhere just stashed, or they're not even starting.
Yeah.
So,
and keep away.
They're just playing keep away. So it's one of those things where, man, that late freaking scratch is a fucking kick in the dick. that sucks so bad.
It really is. Like, it's a very uncomfortable feeling. Like I said, it's one of those things where when you have to look at the free agent wire too, you truly are scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like, there's some names on there that, like, you look at their projections and it's like barely like
4 or 5 points.
Yeah,
6 maybe.
Jesus,
you're like, son of a bitch, dude. Like, he might get like 1 target if I'm lucky.
Right.
Let that target be a fucking. Let it be a touchdown. That's all I want. Just let it be a fucking touchdown. You never know. I mean,
that's kind of how it worked out with me. I had to play Roshan Johnson on an emergency this week because of that situation.
He fucking got a touchdown,
and he got a touchdown. So I mean, that was about as good as I could have hoped for there. So
give you like 7, 8 points. That's just a gift.
yeah, and if I would have gotten lucky where he just got 2 touchdowns there, then that just would have been like striking the lotto there.
It's funny too, because that's the stuff that happens when, like, just by luck, someone just goes down at the 1 or the 2. It's a great play, and they don't score their touchdown, and your guy comes in. And usually for me this damn season, it's been the guy that I don't want to fucking score a touchdown that's going against me, and the guy that I want to score a touchdown is the guy that was going out at the fucking 1. So I got the points for 33-yard at the 1, and then the asshole comes in and scores a touchdown, goes against me. That shit's been biting my ass all year long. I've been facing that shit.
Brutal.
Yeah, and it's funny though, because
it does suck. It does suck, and it's nothing that you can ever get used to. But
no, because like the keeper league, that's what's really screwed me. People scoring touchdowns that doesn't need to score touchdowns, and my team's just, doing like whatever they can to like stay the fuck out of the end zone. It's killer. It really is.
Yeah, like I said, it does get a little frustrating. You do kind of end up talking to yourself a bit where it's like, is this somehow the NFL against? Is there somehow the Goodell working against my best interests? How the fuck?
Fucking Vegas, bro. It's fucking Vegas getting it's CIA fucking Vegas together fucking up my fantasy. That's what it is. Those fuckers are together trying to screw my Mike in fucking Phoenix is not getting fucking that win. You know what I mean? He does it with my parlays. He does it. I stopped fucking betting because of that shit. It's like, God damn it. I'm tired of Vegas and CIA getting involved in my shit. You know what I mean? Every time I say something that pops up on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and I don't want to buy that shit. I was just talking to you about it, whatever. You know?
The way you run your mouth, I'm sure you offended somebody at some point, and they had to make an example out of you guys.
I can't argue that point. I've been drunk and let way too much information out a few more times that I care to discuss. But
well, I would say let's go ahead and look into the teams that are on a bye week this upcoming week 13, but there is no teams on a bye week this week 13. Oh man, the funky bye week schedule just continues.
that's what that's what I was telling you. I could not remember. Yes, we're talking about a Sunday, and I could not remember that. I know there was something funky coming up, and then we're gonna go right back into some bullshit ass fucking week 14. We're gonna got there's some pretty damn good, Washington, Texans,
Ravens, a playoff team, the
Broncos. That fucking sucks.
Houston Texans as well. So yeah,
I got like a shit ton of my people are fucking on by that week. God damn it.
Yeah, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Derrick Henry, the CJ Strouds, the Tank Dells, and stuff like that. All these kind of guys are going to be on by next week, not this week.
One of my heroes was fucking Cortland Sutton. Oh my god, I picked him up late,
really good game.
He's been driving me. Yeah, he's been driving me lately.
Well, you got to be thanking Bo Nix for that. Bo Nix has been looking like probably maybe giving Jalen Daniels a run for his money for Rookie of the Year, or like. Yeah, I think he has the most touchdown passes out of all the rookies, QBs.
Well, they showed a stat that I didn't realize. I know he was doing good, but there's a month of November so far. He was 8-1 when it comes to touchdown to the interception ratio, and they were undefeated. So that's I was putting some work in. I mean, Jaden Daniels just kind of took off after that little Hail Mary. I know you don't want to talk about that, but after that, the Commanders kind of.
Oh man, really?
I'm just stating facts, bro. I'm sorry. So shit happens, but
you're all a bunch of fucking assholes.
Well, of course I am, but either way, I mean, he's definitely gotten ran down by Bo Nix this last month. Like I thought he was a runaway, for offensive rookie of the year at the very least, rookie of the year, and everybody else who's. Drake May kind of got stopped a little bit because he didn't get to start the season like everybody else did. But he's had some good games. But even then, Marvin Harrison Jr. really he's come and gone. He really hasn't had one of those signature games that you could say, he's gone on like a 4 or 5, 6 game run where he's just been dominant.
Malik Neighbors has dropped off as well, especially since Daniel Jones has now been cut. So it'll be interesting to see if Daniel Jones lands with the squad anywhere. Do you see him signing anywhere, or is he just gonna maybe go to you?
They kind of had the Minnesota and Ravens out there right away, but I mean Nick Mullins has been someone who's been in the system, so I can't see them bringing in Daniel Jones and Freak.
How would you feel about your team bringing in Daniel
Jones? Number 1 seed. No. Nah, I mean, there's no reason for that right now. We have two
injuries, not that bad.
2 backups that well, he's supposed to play this next week, hopefully against Buffalo, which I'm 100% honest. I don't think it really matters if he plays this week. I think we're gonna get ran out the building and out the stadium again. It's just it's a train wreck of a year. It's one of those years where high expectations and just low output. So it really hurts. I mean, the Ravens are kind of interesting. I don't know who their backup QB is. So if Lamar Jackson is to go down, that would be something interesting if they would actually throw him into the mix, whatever. Just have him, He said that he wants to join the contender, but I really can't see a contender bringing Daniel Jones in and being comfortable this late in the season, throwing him out there, even in an emergency kind of situation. I think he's just going to collect whatever whatever left of money that he got that's guaranteed and go chill and just wait to the off season. I think that's basically probably the best thing they could probably have about Daniel Jones.
That's bad.
Just go to fucking Cabo or wherever the fuck you want for a few months and just go fucking decompress and realize that. And what he needs to go do is join the Saquon Barkley fucking fan club because he's the reason that he got fucking paid. And Saquon should fucking absolutely go kick his ass right after that because right now that was the worst horrible fucking decision that ever could have made. I told one of my friends when I was working with him that he was a huge New York Giants fan. He's over there sucking Danny Dimes off like, oh yeah. I'm like, that was a horrible decision. You guys should have paid Saquon. Should have paid his ass. You guys paid the wrong fucking person. And it's going to come back. It's going to bite you in the ass. Now look at them now. They better hope and pray that Deion Sanders finds a way to get his son to New York. That's the only way they're going to be relevant in the next few fucking years. Drew Lock is not the answer. Tommy Cutlets is getting punked by freaking. he's getting fucking. He's getting shown
Mayfield,
by Baker Mayfield on fucking Sunday. Like the worst thing is Malik Neighbors is like, you want to throw me the ball when it's 30-0? Like that locker room is fucked. I do think Dayball's a good coach, but he's lost that locker room. I don't see him coming back next year for any reason. If he does come back and he does get a Shadur Sanders somehow, maybe that's the only reason they keep him because he is an offensive minded coach. And like we were talking about that, Sunday too. You want to have that type of coach with someone like that. Maybe that's the only way he keeps his job. But even then, I can't see that going very far in this situation. I think Danny Dimes' time in the NFL is coming real short, real quick. He's lucky he got that $107 million and whatever $100 million guaranteed because that's going to be him and for his family for the rest of the time. Because from now on, he's going to get a bunch of fucking veteran minimums.
He's going to be a journeyman backup from here on out. So
I mean, unless he has some kind of crazy reclamation, kind of like Sam Darnold did, or I guess saying Baker Mayfield. I don't see him going somewhere and just right off the bat just getting paid. So he's going to need to show the NFL. He's going to need to show the NFL that that first contract was basically a fluke. And right now, I mean, it just shows that once Saquon left, that he was the offense. And it was pretty obvious real quick when Saquon left that New York Giants offense looked like shit. And Dayball didn't look as smart as everybody thought he was. He needs to get back that freaking the head coach of the year freaking award back because apparently he didn't earn it. And Saquon did.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with what you're saying there. Like I said, the Giants definitely have taken a big step back since getting rid of Barkley, and like no one was more shocked and surprised than Barkley himself that he wasn't getting an extension. So like I said, that they're reaping what they sow right now. So, but let's go ahead and get it. We don't have too many injuries to look at, but this definitely sealed one of the bets that we made earlier in the year, though. One of the guys that you can scratch off your list and drop here is Gardner Minshew, broken collarbone. He will be done for this season. That's him walking off the field there after he got his collarbone shattered there.
Yeah, I mean, Herbert's looked better, and I mean, Gardner Minshew did get benched, so I think I kind of won that.
This was his comeback tour, but
I think I kind of won that bet. I mean, that sucks for Gardner Minshew. I mean, what really sucks is for Antonio Pierce because I don't think he's going to survive. I don't think he'll survive either. They brought him back, and they really, did it for the team. Mm-hmm. If they keep him, I would be surprised if they keep him. They're going to have to get some kind of quarterback out of the draft. I don't know, where they're going to land when it comes to, draft position. But I mean, they've definitely lost 7 in a row. So if they can keep losing and not fuck themselves over and start winning the last few weeks, they can, get pretty close to the top 5 and get somebody maybe possibly that can help them turn that franchise around. Because Minshew wasn't the answer, and O'Connell obviously got benched for Minshew. So
Yeah, but I would be a little surprised about that because I think he has got a bit of a case in the sense of like okay, I didn't really have much of a quarterback. I had to like whose idea was it to bring in Getsy, the offensive coordinator? Was that his choice or was that the GM's choice? Because if that was the GM's choice, then it's like you got to tell the GM like you give me a shitty offensive coordinator that I have to fire halfway through the season. We end up trading Devontae Adams halfway through the season as well. So it's just like, what are you expecting out of me? I like they're not the worst looking team out there, but
I mean, they have Bowers. I mean, but they just don't have much on offense. Them trading Jacobs in the offseason, and then look what he's doing in Green Bay. You know what I mean? They traded Devonta Adams, like you said, halfway through the season. You know what I mean? And he really hasn't done much in New York, but either way, he's someone out there that was, just still a pretty good wide receiver.
Who else do you have out there as a threat besides Bowers? And granted, he's a tight end, but your best receiver now is
Jacoby Myers. Yeah,
he's more of a
fantasy wise. He's kind of like the 10 to 15 point guy. Like every once in a while, he's not a number one. He's definitely not the guy that you want to roll out there every week and give him 20 or 10 to 15 touches, or attempts anyway. So
yeah. So I mean, like I said, it's a tough situation with over there in Oakland, Vegas. My bad. Some old habits never die. So, let's take a look at the next.
Let's call the Chargers San Diego too. So I understand.
Yeah. I still call these guys the Skins as well. So next up is Austin Eckler. He's got a concussion. He'll be out till week 15. So that's he's going to be out this week and then probably go into his bye week. There, week 14 is the bye weeks. So he should be ready right after the bye week. That's going to be the first week of the fantasy football playoffs, week 15 there. So that's literally just in time for the playoffs.
I mean, we'll see what happens because Brian Robinson's also dealing with the ankle injury, so that kind of I have him on my fantasy, so that kind of kills. So I mean, if you're looking for someone, McNichols is someone to. He had a couple rushes on Sunday after everybody went out. Brian Robinson tried to come back, but that ankle might keep him out for a week. So McNichols is someone you want to keep up only just for the volume. I mean, you always want to have that volume, and without Eckler and pretty much Robinson, it's going to be his backfield. So that's something you want to look out for. But yeah, that's a rough one. Eckler actually, with Robinson being out, had started looking pretty good. Started looking like the Eckler that was in the Chargers. Started catching the ball in the backfield, had a couple nice runs. He was getting goal line touchdowns. So that definitely hurts if you have him on your squad. But like you said, he might be coming back for that playoff time. So if Robinson can't get straight, then that's a nice plug in right there.
If you can make it there, Eckler's always been that dink and dunk guy that gets little passes and stuff like that. So I mean, you get one of those games with Jaden Daniels is kind of having to just get rid of the ball. Eckler could easily have 5 catches, 6 catches at the end of the game for 40, 50 yards. And then if he squeezes in for a touchdown there, that's a hell of a day for someone that, you drafted in the 9th, 10th round,
He's basically an RB. He's an RB2 in his own team. So
right. And most guys, he's an RB either 3 or 2 on most fantasy teams there. So the last guy here that I wanted to bring up was Josh Downs here. He has a shoulder injury, and he as well will be expected to come back week 15, right in time for fantasy playoffs. So he's not necessarily a starter in most guys' leagues. He's was a flex guy that you would kind of put in there every once in a while. But,
I don't know. He's been one of those guys that's been Michael Pittman's becoming someone hit or miss, and same thing with Alec Pierce. So, but he's been the guy that's probably been the most consistent out of that trio. It's volatile with Anthony Richardson because you never know what kind of game he's going to have. Our first game back, he was flinging that ball. He was looking good. Everybody was all excited about him beginning of the year. And then this last week, he went right back to being the guy that everybody gets pissed off about. So like that quarterback situation just kills. You know what I mean? Because Josh Downs is someone that he's been more consistent to all of them, especially when Anthony Richardson is there. But man, it's just like I said, week 15 again. Because I had him in my league, and he's done some good things. But he's also let me down. He only got I think like 6 points this last week. And right now, if he would have had a decent game and not got hurt, I would have already caught Chili's ass. So he's definitely
That's kind of been his thing from what I noticed most of the year. It's feast or famine with him. Either, he's going to have, a game in the teens, or he unfortunately is going to have a 5 or 6 point game. So, and
it's been dependent on the quarterback. It really has. It's the quarterback situation. When Joe Flacco was hot and he was throwing the ball around, he was going to Josh Downs. And then when Anthony Richardson came back, he was kind of hit or miss. But he still was having those down the field attempts and he was making some big catches. So he was still doing good things. So definitely, that's a big open for Michael Pittman, or even like to look out for Alex Pierce, especially because And then week 14, there's going to be a shit ton of people on buys and everything. Actually, I think there might have been I don't know if Indianapolis is one of those teams, but this next week, it definitely will be out there because everybody's running.
Let me see. No.
Yeah, he would. I see. Yeah, week 14. Week 14, that he'll be out. But this next week, he's definitely someone you want to look out for. So, I mean, Michael Pittman and Alex Pierce are definitely they're going to have to throw the ball somewhere.
No, for sure they do. So unless they're just going to run the ball the whole time and give it to Taylor, so I would be cool with that. That's cool.
But he's another guy that's had one of those like ugly drop offs. You know what I mean? Like he just all of a sudden went from a main like a top 5 running back to I don't even think he's a top 30 running back right now.
Yeah, we'll have to check it out there. But yeah, he was definitely disappointing this week. Me having him, I felt how disappointing he was. I think he only had 2 points this week, unfortunately. So, which is for not getting hurt is just absolute trash. So,
that's not even running back. That's not even 30. That's like running back 50 or 60. Fuck.
Oh man, I gotta laugh about it at this point. But stick with us, folks. We're gonna take a quick break, just pay some bills real quick. So just hang tight, and then we'll be back to, like I said, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to drop your record in there, let us know. We'll be more than happy to either answer any questions or kind of brag or kind of look over your record and stuff like that and kind of hear what you guys have to say. Don't be shy. So, but hang in there, and we'll be right back after we pay some of these bills.
Yeah, I said it. I'm trying to be king.
You crazy.
I'm real.
King of what?
Okay, bow down. Let the trumpet sound. Roll out the red carpet. 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 Roll out.
Oh, that again.
What happened there? Crooked Commish. The producer got drunk before they.
No, it just glitches out. Sometimes when I cue the button and hit the button, it kind of does a double tap. So, but
You know what?
it happens.
What I just thought about right now, I think I won both bets. Now that we're talking about it, because
What?
we had that the Minshew and Herbert, and that's pretty much a done deal. And then Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams. I'm just saying. I think I.
Oh, now, dog. Come on, man.
I'm just saying. If you want to call it early, bro, it's cool. I'm just saying.
I ain't calling shit early. You know, you just,
I'm just saying.
I'll tell you one thing here.
Son, I'm just going to tell you this one time.
Yes, sir.
You want to keep working here. Stay off the drugs.
Yes, sir.
What about the wine, motherfucker? Huh?
Stay off the damn drugs. But so thank you very much to our sponsors. Yeah, I'll get you that bet paid off eventually, you know. So, but thank you to our sponsors, Moore's Beers. Thank you very much. Thank you to Fantasy Jocks for sponsoring us as well. If you guys need any kind of fantasy football gear, you know, championship belts, championship rings, it's not even just football. They got basketball stuff. They got baseball stuff as well. So even loser paraphernalia, something to punish your league mates when they're the worst team in the league, because I know we do something like that. So they have plenty of stuff for you guys. Like I said, check out Fantasy Jocks. They will not let you down. Trust me. If you're having a bad fantasy season, they will definitely make it better for you there. So,
or better for us.
Yeah, or for us. So true that. So anywho, so I wanted to get into the last few weeks. We were talking about the top 10 players in each position, you know, looking at who were the top 10 fantasy QBs and running backs and whatnot. Last week we did the receivers and the tight ends. This week, I just wanted to finish it off and look at the top 10 fantasy defenses as of right now that are going, and see if any of these team names here are a surprise to you, or if maybe there's any names on this list that you're surprised not to be seeing here. So, but I did want to give you a guess at all, any guesstimates at all of who could be the best fantasy defense this year so far.
I'd have to say somewhere up there would got to be Minnesota.
Ding, 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 ding.
Pittsburgh.
Get that man another beer.
I was like, well, shit, let me get a drink of that motherfucker right now. Hold on.
Yeah, Minnesota is the number one fantasy team right now. 326 fantasy points. And that's about 16 better than the next team there.
They've been a crazy surprise. Like they that's a big reason why Minnesota is 9-2. Because their defense, I seen it pretty early in the year, and they shut us down and they created some turnovers and right away they score off those turnovers. So that's not a surprise. I mean that's everybody would think that the Niners and Cleveland and different teams like that be at the top, but no, those teams have been pretty shitty all year long. So they're not someone that if you went up there and you drafted them up early. Baltimore's another one that historically has always had a great defense, and they're definitely somewhere in the 15 to 20 range. Like Pittsburgh has been they have been steady, I guess, more than anything else, because I have them on my defense, and they had a good run, especially at the beginning of the year. About majority of the year that they've been pretty good, but definitely Minnesota is a surprise. Detroit's another was surprised that they're getting a shit ton of picks in the back end. So I know they had a good, I think it was week 6 to 8 or 9 or 10 around there, where the safeties just came on, and they've just been another defense that if you have every week. Houston's another one too that's been pretty opportunistic. And so if you're getting those defenses and you didn't think that they were going to be very good, I think all of them are somewhere in the top 5. So, if you got those, you get depending on your league. Like our league, we have one league where you get 30 points for a good defense, but it'll be like around a 20-ish in the other one. So it depends on your bonuses and whatever you get. But if you have those,
right,
we definitely been killing it with a good defense.
Yeah. Like I said, Minnesota definitely has been scoring on defense. They have 3 touchdowns on defense, 16 interceptions, and then 71 tackles for loss, 38 sacks. So all those, usually are some of the things that get rewarded for is, when we're dealing with points on defense for fantasy football. Number 43 on Minnesota is really standing out. He has one of those pick sixes. He almost had another one. Yes. There's one time during the season where someone tried to do like a screen route, like a real quick pass to the receiver. And he read it beautifully, picked it off. Walked right into the end zone. And he damn near had another one of those interceptions against Chicago. Luckily, Caleb was able to recognize it, gave him a pump fake, and then able to complete the pass elsewhere. But he's one of those guys where his football instincts are like top notch.
He's just always around the block. Like he would I'm surprised Miami let him get away. To be honest, he got paid in Minnesota, and that defense has been like I said, a surprise for a 9-2 Minnesota team that everybody thought that was going to be one of the lesser teams. They thought they're going to take a step back. Yes, but they probably still wouldn't be pretty good because they've been pretty good for the past few years. But everybody thought they were going to be the 3rd or 4th team in that division. So if Detroit slips up whatsoever, Minnesota's right there, and they got a pretty good squad, and that defense is definitely leading the way. So if you get them in fantasy, definitely you're starting them almost pretty much every week.
Pretty much, regardless of the matchup. So the other team you're probably pretty much going to be starting every week, the second best team, has been the Denver Broncos. And I don't
that's a surprise
as well. Yeah,
that's another team that's been driven by that defense and some timely offense. You know what I mean? They're I didn't expect Bo Nix to go out there, especially how bad it's been the past few years in Denver. So if you're a Denver fan, you're definitely, happy to see that.
Yeah, no, they're also have 2 touchdowns on defense, 6 of the forced fumble recoveries, 9 interceptions. So it's not as many interceptions or tackles for loss. A few more sacks, 44 sacks. So, but I think one of the other things is like they haven't been giving up very many points on
No, but they got the number 1 cover guy in the league, Patrick Surtain. So, that guy's a fucking stud. You know what I mean? And other than that, I honestly couldn't tell you who else is on that defense that's, doing it. But they got some dogs on that defense because they're definitely. They should have beat the Chiefs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
they came close. Yeah.
It's a blocked field goal. You know about blocked field goals. So.
Wow, the fuck, dude.
I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
Let's drink to that shit.
Oh. It's fucked up. Anywho, moving on. The number 3. Don't be so proud of yourself.
Let me hurt myself.
Houston Texans, the number 3 fantasy defense right now, which again you mentioned them earlier, so not too surprising to see them on there. Buffalo is the 4th one.
That's surprising to be honest.
That one I wasn't too surprised. Them and Houston, I wasn't super surprised to see them here.
Well, for me, Houston, they still got they got a lot of really good players on Houston. Like Daniel Hunter, also shared Jimmy Ward. So they're stinking on the outside is another pretty good. young cornerbacks. So they got some.
Will
They
Anderson
got some
Jr.
good.
is in his second year.
Yeah, so they definitely got some really good players. But when it comes to the Buffalo Bills, they lost Milano early in the year. They lost they pretty much had to revamp the whole secondary. So
Right.
that's a definite surprise to see them. Von Miller's come back and kind of give them a lot of juice. So that one was surprising that they've been where we're up that high in the fantasy, because in the beginning of the year they thought that was going to be a huge weakness in the first month of the season. Everybody was counting that defense out. They thought it was just going to be pretty much the offense to carry the team, but that was definitely a surprise to me to see that when I looked.
Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, and I agree with that. I do remember that at the time when Milano did go out, a lot of people were concerned about the Bills' defense because that was the second year now that he, was out for an injury.
Early again.
So
Yeah.
So
then they lost some big names too. So lost a couple big names on that back end. But yeah, definitely
up mentality. So fifth, rounding up the top five, there is going to be another NFC North team, the Detroit Lions. That's not a surprise at all. We were expecting to see that, even with missing Aiden Hutchinson. They've still been able to kind of not drop or skip a beat. Either way, their offense is just outscoring teams. If they continue to drop 50 points on the teams week in and week out, they won't have to worry about their defense too much at all.
Yeah. That fucking Sonic and Knuckles, those fuckers.
Yeah, no shit, huh?
Just scoring touchdowns every week, man. Those are guys that are definitely must starts on your fantasy. If you got Montgomery or Gibbs, you're just loving it. You definitely love it because they're both eating every weekend. Every weekend, those guys are eating.
And that's one of the ones I remember early in the year I was talking about possibly. We were thinking Miami could be one of those teams where you could possibly own both of those guys, and it ends up being Detroit this year, where if you own Gibbs and Montgomery, you probably could have worked, starting them both most weeks.
Yeah, most weeks. They pretty much scored. I think with 9 times this year, and that 11 total in the last 2 years. So 9 times this year, they're both scoring touchdowns. And either Montgomery or Gibbs are scoring multiple touchdowns on top of it. So you love when your guys, and if you have them both, and they're both scoring 2 or 3 touchdowns apiece, that's insane. You guys are just absolutely obliterating with your 2 running backs.
And it's not always through the ground, too. Like I said, Montgomery doesn't catch as much as Gibbs does, but, Gibbs definitely gets his fair share of TD catches, or takes a 60-yard, little screen pass and can break it for 60 yards for a touchdown. So
yeah, both these guys are eating yards too. It's not like they're getting like 20 or 30 yards and a touchdown or two. Mm-hmm. They're both eating like 70, 80, 85 yards. But then, like you said, and then they're like a few catches out of the backfield from the 25, 30. And so they're easily both in the 20 to 25 point almost every weekend. So if you were crazy enough to draft them both right now, you're probably somewhere in first place.
You're looking like a genius there. So
yeah, you really are.
So next team up, number 6 there, unfortunately, is the Green Bay Packers. There is the 6th best fantasy defense.
Brother,
So
that back end, that back end again gets a lot of picks. They get a lot of. McKinney was a big steal for them. I seen it. I just seen it in fucking on Sunday. Motherfucker took a touchdown. Took a pick back the other way. So, that secondary is really kind of held together because, Jordan Love likes throwing the ball to the other team sometimes a little too much. You try to go figure. The one week he decides to fucking end his streak, he does it against us.
Yeah,
so
not an interception. Yeah.
So he didn't know it, but that defense has been that secondary has been a big upgrade. So it doesn't surprise me that team's been doing well with that as well.
Yeah, me neither. But It does surprise me a little, I guess, without Jared Alexander there. He's been kind of injured quite a bit this season, but
Yeah, he has.
But like I said, the guy that you were talking about, he stepped right in, and like I said, we just got done playing them week 11, so like I said, we're definitely familiar with
Xavier McKinney's
that backfield. Yeah, whatever. I don't care what his name is. Moving on. So, number 7 fantasy defense this year, Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I said earlier, just a few minutes ago, they're one of those teams. I'm not too surprised to see them here. Pittsburgh's one of those teams that's kind of built on defense. You know, it's kind of like
that's just Mike Tomlin's calling. Yeah, what slowed them down is Alex Highsmith has been injured. Alex Highsmith has been kind of in and out of the lineup the past month, and it's kind of slowed down T.J. Watt because T.J. Watt was going for another Defensive Player of the Year. He definitely was in the beginning of the year. That guy was everywhere, and I loved it because he was scoring a shit ton of points for my defense. But without the other guy and the other booking on the other side, they've kind of been able to chip and slow down TJ just a little bit. I mean, TJ still has those. You can't really stop him. You just kind of hope he slows his ass down. But that defense has gotten into a little bit a few shootouts. I mean, I didn't expect the Cleveland Browns to throw up 26 points in the fucking snow. So that was pretty unexpected.
Yeah. For real. Like I said, that was a crazy game. That was a fun game to watch, to see it like that. You don't see too many snow games, but I always find it wild when it's like a snow game and it's like a shootout kind of snow game. Like
they were flinging that shit. I'm like, how in the hell can you see who you're throwing to, much less catch that ball? Right. It was pretty cool because they were throwing 30, 40 bombs out there. They're flinging it. You know what I mean? You only know James is going to go. He's going to take his fucking chances. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it definitely was cool.
There somewhere.
It really was. Like I said, it fucking sucked because that damn freaking last super little touchdown cost me some points. You know, luckily.
Yeah, you had Pittsburgh defense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like luckily it didn't cost me too bad because I still whipped Chili's ass. But still, that damn freaking 19 points when it was closer to 26-27 pissed me the fuck off. I'm like, how in the hell? Are we scoring 26 points in a fucking snow game? I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's one of those you definitely feel confident going in. You check the weather. You're like, oh, okay, snow game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. There's going to be some there's going to be a couple fumbles on the ground. There's going to be some sacks. I was expecting 30, 35 points from my defense. Yeah. And no, fuckers. It's a good thing it didn't cost me. It's a good thing it didn't cost me because I'd have been mad.
Yeah, that would have sucked. So, but moving on to the 8th fantasy football defense right now, Philadelphia Eagles. So, like I said, I'm a little surprised to see them there. A solid season overall, but their schedule hasn't been the easiest. So, like I said, not so much because I think they have a bunch of bums on defense, but just they've had a pretty tough schedule. So
I guess Graham just got hurt too, so that's going to change some things coming up. But they definitely have some rookies in that. Another thing in the back end, that back end, is kind of solidified, and they've done some things back there. But they lost Graham, I guess, to a torn or a tricep. So I mean that could be, he's one of the leaders that has definitely left after Kelsey and everybody else retired. So. Losing him, we'll have to see going forward how that affects them. I mean, the good thing though is they can always hand the ball off to fucking Saquon. He can just go rip 70 fucking yarders or whatever the hell he wants and jump backwards over the top of people. So sometimes,
he got called into the league to get tested after that week. Did you hear about that?
Well, after do some shit like that, you're gonna get a needle in your ass. You're gonna be like, what else?
Buddy, come here. What you just did right there?
Like, that's not right. That's not right.
Should be able
what
to
the
happen.
fuck? Like you can't even do that shit on Madden. Like Madden glitches if you try to do some shit like that. You fucking freeze your game and it says, "What the fuck were you just trying to do?" That fucker did that shit in real life. Like, right now, if you go outside to parks everywhere, there's little kids that are fucking getting smashed, and then in the fucking back trying to jump over their fucking
Trying
friends.
to
Like,
recreate that.
they're trying to recreate that because they're like, I seen him do it. Let me go try and do it, and then they get blown the fuck up and they go home crying because they thought they could do a fucking Saquon fucking. Well, they just spin around and jump and not look where the fuck I'm going. And the guy just goes and has 250 yards rushing and then 300 yards from scrimmage. What a fucking bum. Once again, I don't know who the fuck the New York Giants people were in charge at that time, but they all should be fucking let go and fired again. Hire them again and fucking fire their ass twice because that's the stupidest thing they ever fucking did was let that guy go.
In due time, my friend, in due time. That day is coming. They will be seeing the exit here shortly.
You know what I'm saying? I would hire him just like a fire him twice.
Comes for them all.
I would hire him so I could fire him twice. Just saying. That's horrible. And to a divisional rival on top of it.
Step into my office. Why? Because you're fucking fired.
I tell you, man, this guy's just getting better and better too every week. Like, it's crazy. Like, I mean, the coach was the coach was about to get fired mid-season. You know what I mean? There was so much freaking noise. With this guy can't figure it out, whatever. He's fighting with his own fan base, shit happened. And then all of a sudden he remembered he had Saquon Barkley in his fucking team and said, fuck it, hand the ball off to this guy. And
well, at least he realized it. Better late than never. So,
and the crazy stat I'm telling you right now, the crazy stat that I seen is like Jalen Hurts has actually stolen about 8 or 9 fucking push and whatever fucking goal line touchdowns. This guy could be close to almost like 15 or 16 touchdowns and probably running for 2,000 yards. That could be in the run for the MVP. You know what I mean? So that's insane.
All right. Well, rounding out the last 2 teams in the top 10, we have the number 9 team that you're all very familiar with in this network. We got the Chicago Bears at number 9 with the 9th best football. So, which I think is kind of interesting. All 4 black and blue teams, Division North or NFC North teams, are in the top 10 there. So, if nothing else, that's kind of a little cool. But like I said, still a few more weeks that could change there. The Bears could drop off there on defense. They have been slipping a bit, have not looked as sharp the back end of the season as they did in the front end of the season. So I think
starting to get a little leaky up front. Starting to get a leaky up front like machines.
Run defense is definitely a liability. They have not been getting that many turnovers at all, really no interceptions or even just like fumble recoveries or fumbles and stuff like that. They've gotten a few here and there, but definitely not as many as they have in years past. And then the last team is the Colts there, the Indianapolis Colts, 10th best fantasy defense. Splitting hairs with Cleveland, though. It's like within a point there. Cleveland and Arizona, they're all points within each other there. So
I think that's a big surprise for Cleveland. Cleveland was so good last year, and they pretty much brought everybody back. So for them to be that far down, that's a huge shock to me. That see him not somewhere in the top 5. I didn't expect them to be that championship defense that kind of they rode to the playoffs last year, but
and then one of the other teams is your team there. I think a lot of people are expecting San Francisco to be top 10. Normally they are a top 10 defense that you can rely on.
But they haven't had Greenlaw all year. Hufanga came back for like a game, went right back on IR. They lost Hargrove early. You know what I mean? So they haven't, they've got some good pieces that are Ronaldo Green's a good piece, I think, for the future. But Javarius Ward, unfortunately, has been out for the past month because his family issues. So they've once again they've lost a lot of people on that side of the ball. And to be honest, their coaching has been pretty fucking horrible on top of it too. So you keep losing. That's a big key. You start losing coordinators over and over again. You keep going to NFC championship games and Super Bowls, and people they'll take your coaches.
You want your coaches, yeah.
They'll take your coaches, and eventually, I think some of that has got kind of caught up. I you know, our last year we had a little controversy with what with Wicks and everything else coming through, but I would have liked to have seen him stick around. You know what I mean? And he, at the end of the day, he didn't. The Super Bowl wasn't lost because of our defense. So you bring in Sorensen, who was on the staff and everything like that, and he hasn't had the same sense. And I think that's kind of like what's happening with it's the same shit with Baltimore. Mike McDonald goes to Seattle, and the defense went from I think they were in the top 20. He comes and they're like a number one defense on that side. So he leaves and becomes the head coach for Seattle, and Baltimore regrets pretty quickly. So it's a big understatement of who's coaching that side of the ball, and the teams that that don't have the continuity and you can only elevate so many people from within, and eventually you're elevating someone who's just not they're not a good coach for that position. I mean, they're good position coaches, but not good like head coordinators. So that's the way it happens. It happened to Baltimore, happened with us, and it's just the way that it goes.
Doesn't matter how good your players are if you don't have the coach to put them in the right position. It doesn't matter. They're going to make them look silly. So, but hopefully next year you guys can get it cleared up. But or maybe by the end of the season, you guys are still fighting for a playoff spot. So
that's good. It's
barely,
still division. The division's still up there. We a couple division losses first. Yeah, I mean we got Buffalo coming in this week, so that's not the recipe for success is have Buffalo coming in, but we'll see what happens.
Well, you better win this coming up week because next week's a definite loss. So
yeah, got a case of beer on that one too. Yeah, I got a case of beer on that one too. Let the loser bowl. Let the loser bowl. Let the loser bowl. Double or nothing. I like 4 cases of beer.
Hey, well, that'll be something you can definitely be thankful for. Let's wrap it up here. Any last minute words? Let us know. It's Thanksgiving weekend. What do you have to be thankful for this Thanksgiving here?
Oh man, we always gotta be thankful always for just for the family we have. The games we get to watch, the time we get to spend with everybody when we come on here. We just talk bullshit for an hour, and luckily, hopefully, your team wins. And if you're in a couple of fantasy stuff, your team kicks ass those weekends too. Those weekends where you sweep everything, they're the best things ever. And that's what you're gonna be grateful for.
Yeah, the beer tastes better that week whenever you have that perfect fantasy week where your not only your fantasy football teams won all of them, but your real actual football team won as well. So whenever I've only had one of those weeks this year, 1 week like that, and it was one of the best weeks ever. So like I said, beer tastes sweeter or better, I should say. But the food
shots go down smoother. The food tastes better.
Yeah. The money spends. You don't mind spending the money as much there that week because it's like, hey,
that waitress gets a little bigger of a tip. Yeah, she gets a little better tip that week. It's like I want everything, girl. You get some extra money on that one.
Hey, yeah. So, but with that being said, I want to say that I am thankful, like I said, for all the viewers that we have, all the supporters that we have, all our sponsors. Thankful for having you as a co-host. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you for you too as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing me on and letting me come out there and do everything we do. Always grateful. Thank you.
Of course. Like I said, wouldn't have it any other way. It's like I said, it's always an honor to have the Mouth from the Bay come over to our network here. And
to be honest, like anyone else could stand you for a fucking hour. So
that's why we keep it short and sweet, y'all. So thank you all for tuning with us. Be safe this weekend and this week here at Thanksgiving. If anyone's traveling for the holidays, please be safe. Get there safely. Like I said, the Bears fans, we're going to be doing our pregame show on Thanksgiving. So if you're a Bears fan, tune in for that. I'll be there. So, and some of the other co-hosts will be there as well. So, but if not, be safe, be good. But if you can't be good, well, then damn it, at least be good at it.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
Peace, y'all.
And now it's all over.